care in Ghana by advocates and mental health professionals. Parliament voted on Tuesday to amend the law in a move that has been universally welcomed. With the latest amendment, attempted suicide would now be considered a mental health issue requiring assistance by law rather than a criminal offense. Former CEO of the Mental Health Authority is convinced this will result in a drop in suicide cases.
Now, the recognition that attempted suicide is no longer a criminal conduct, but a mental health issue. And that allows us to be able to offer the services, the mental health support that such a person requires. It will now mean that people can talk openly about what is going on in their mind and seek help. At the end of the day, I expect that the incidence of people wanting to take their lives will go down.
To ensure that the law works, a lot more attention needs to be paid to the quality of mental health care, according to the Mental Health Authority. Let's get some perspectives on the law from Francis Xavier Susu, lawyer and MP for Medina.
There are several researches published even by the Ghana Mental Health Authority that shows that people who attempt suicide are people that have mental disorders. Because for a person to come to the decision to take his or her own life, most of them may be suffering from some extreme depression or some form of disorder. And so when those people are caught in the act, what they need is medical care and not imprisonment.
That was Francis Xavier Sosu, MP for Medina and a lawyer. Capitation grant is what we have next on the board, and the Minority Caucus has appealed to the government to release the arrears of the capitation grants to facilitate the smooth running of public basic schools in the country. The capitation grant is a policy initiated by the government to eliminate extra fees and charges at the basic school level. Deputy Ranking Member on the Education Committee of Parliament and NDC Member of Parliament for Busa South, Dr. Clement Abasa-Pak, says the schools will soon grind to a halt.
As I speak to you, government owes capitation grants for the previous budget year at a whopping amount of 45 million Ghana cedis. What that says is that government was only able to remit 15 million. For the current year in question, the request was 61 million for capitation grant. Government only brought 11 million for us to approve. So ideally, government should be making available to the basic schools capitation grants in excess of 106 million Ghana cedis. That is not happening.
That was Deputy Ranking Member on the Education Committee of Parliament and NDC Member of Parliament for Busa South, Dr. Clement Abasa-Pak. The police, through an intelligence operation on 27th March 2023, arrested 3 suspects for possession of firearms without lawful authority and acts of vigilantism at Japa near Wasai Kropong in the Western region. The 3 suspects, Godfred Apia alias Nana Kobnejan, Isaac Amwakong alias Nana Owusu, and Theophilus Yeboah alias Fire, was arrested following an investigation into a viral video on social media in which one person was seen shooting at another and threatening violence. The police operation initially led to the arrest of the prime suspect, Godfred Apia, who was seen in the video firing the weapon. Further police investigations led to the arrest of suspects Theophilus Yeboah and Isaac Amwako, who the investigation revealed as the owner of the supplier of the said weapon. A search conducted at the residence of suspect Isaac Amwako led to the retrieval of 4 pump-action shoot guns, including 24 AAA refilled cartridges. However, he could not produce documents to cover 3 of the weapons. The suspects were put before the Takwa Circuit Court on Wednesday and have been remanded into custody to reappear on April 6, 2023. Efforts are currently underway to get other accomplices in connection with the case arrested to face justice. Away from that, let's go into the camp of the largest opposition, National Democratic Congress. Former President John Dramani Mahama has welcomed the decision by businessman Ernest Kobia to step down from the flag-bearer race of the National Democratic Congress to support him. Kobia, who was one of the 4 members of the NDC to pick presidential nomination forms, announced his withdrawal from the race on Wednesday, March 29. Well, former Kumasi Mayor Kojo Bonsu also took his stand at the vetting committee yesterday and was cleared to contest in the presidential primaries.
I was asked about the economy,
our Social Democratic Party tenants, and how I would rule Ghana. Obviously, a question that you cannot miss is my tenure in office in Kumasi. It's not easy to go through such a vetting, and I think I'm so confident and I trust myself that qualified to become one of the people to lead NDC.
Let's now go back to our earlier story where Kobia has, showed interest in supporting John Dramani Mahama.
It's not I'm pulled out. I give you my support to JM. And it's a good decision for our lovely party to move further for future. You have your right to make a decision, innit? You can make your decision by yourself. So I made a decision by myself to support the old boy. And that is the best decision for the party and myself.
The vetting committee led by former Speaker of Parliament Edward Doe Ahajo has stressed that the committee did not in any way intimidate Ernest Kobia into withdrawing from the race.
The candidates' positions are as follows. Number 1, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Number 2, Kojo Bonsu. And the third position on the ballot goes to Dr. Kobina Dufo. All of them did well before us, and they all satisfy the conditions. If you look at the NDC guidelines, was that 1, you must satisfy the qualification and eligibility as prescribed in the 1992 Constitution.
That was former Speaker of Parliament Edward Doe Ajaho. The party has therefore cleared 3 aspirants to contest the flag bearership race, and balloting was subsequently done by representatives of the 3 aspirants. John Dramani Mahama is number 1 on the ballot paper, Kojo Bonsu number 2, and Dr. Kobina Dufo number 3. Let's now head to the Ashanti regional capital. The completion time of the second phase of the Ketia Market redevelopment project in Kumasi may suffer a setback following the suspension of work at the project site. Over 400 one-site workers have been laid off and more expected to be retrenched by April 3, as sources have revealed. Traders at the race course market who were evicted from the old central market to pave way for the construction of the new market project have described the development as troubling. A report by my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar.
The project site is quiet, with no sight of construction activity going on currently. Combined Kumasi Central Market Traders Union is demanding answers over the halt of work.
Do we as stakeholders not deserve to be told? Do we not deserve to get an explanation for why the market has been halted? Our big question is, why is there a halt in the construction of the market?
The traders have warned they may be forced to hit the streets should government refuse to release money meant for the project.
We do not want to organize demonstrations, but if we do not hear from the people who should be responsible for this as soon as possible, then we have done it before. We can do it again.
The 248 million euro project is expected to be completed in June 2024.
Well, there are calls for a review of Ghana's law to ensure political parties can handpick a member of the party to replace any member of parliament who dies while in office or vacate his seats. 2020 elections campaign manager of the NPP, Peter McMenu, has been making a strong case for the provision at an IEA forum days after NPP MP for Kumawu passed away.
On the death of a member of parliament, or a vacancy occurs in parliament, the clerk of parliament shall notify the electoral commission in writing within 7 days after the vacancy occurred, and a by-election shall be held within 30 days after the vacancy has occurred. United States is the mother of all multi-party democracies in the world. And I recall, or all of us recall, that in 2008, when President Obama, as a senator, was elected as president in December, his seat as a senator was filled by the Democratic Party. It wasn't filled by a by-election. So we are saying that when a person dies, or for whatever reasons, resignation, the party that brought him into parliament during the general election must be given the opportunity that the United States does to replace him, so that the acrimony, the costs, etc., associated with by-elections will be a thing of the past.
There's more of these and some other stories if you log on to 3news.com. Get interactive with us on all social media platforms at 3FM 92.7. My name is Godwin Asediba. Sunrise continues with Helen to stay with us.